Hey YouTube! Welcome back to SIBZ, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we cover your favorite movies and TV shows. Tonight we are covering WandaVision EP.7, and we are live! Hot off the presses, ladies and gentlemen, so if I say anything awkward, I apologize in advance. All right, let's get into it. So, first off, there were so many crazy things that happened in this episode. Like, my mind is just like firing on all cylinders, trying to get it together. So let's just go through the basics. And sorry if I'm like awkwardly looking down. I'm looking at my notes. So number one, Vision learns his origin story. And I don't know about you guys, but the entire time in watching WandaVision, I have just grown to really like Vision. And I feel so bad for him that he has no idea what's going on and he's learning about kind of his less than savory beginnings through Darcy. And he's like, what am I now? You know, I feel so bad for him. But anyway, most important question with Vision is, why can't he leave the Hex? Darcy makes a great point. Why hasn't Wanda just like flipped him on and is using his body that way? Is it because of the Mind Stone? Like, obviously, we know that Vision is not Vision without the Mind Stone, but the question is, it's very important. So, okay, we'll secede that. And I wonder too if now in the trailer for WandaVision, we do see a clip of Wanda sort of recreating the Mind Stone or something. We see something going on with her and the Mind Stone. It remains to be seen what exactly that was. So yeah, good point. Why can't Vision leave the Hex? Questions that need answers. Number two, we see Monica's kind of origin story as she becomes Photon. Now, to me, right off the bat, I'm like, why isn't Homegirl freaking out that she has superpowers now? Like, she just kind of brushes it off, like, oh, whatever. And see, that makes me wonder if she knew that something was going on with her biology before. I mean, in the last episode, Darcy does make a note that, like, she's changing, and if she goes through the Hex another time, she'll change, which Monica blows off. And then once again, in a few episodes before, they tell her that, you know, something's wrong with their readings of her. And she's just like, whatever. And I'm like, now she's a full-blown superhero. She is Photon. And she's like, well, I got to help Wanda. Just very, very interesting. But I loved the way that they did it. She kind of breaks through the wall of the Hex, and we hear all of her conversations with her mom and how she wants to glow like Aunt Carol and everything. And now she can finally do that. So that is super exciting. Also, we got to make note that Hayward wants to use Vision's body. Now, we suspected something like this last week, but it just kind of solidifies Hayward as like our kind of, he's definitely an antagonist. He's not the main one, but basically he had taken Vision's body from Wakanda where he died, which is like, why did they let him do that? But you know, T'Challa wasn't there. He was blipped. I think Shuri was blipped too. So I guess there wasn't anyone in Wakanda to like stop Sword from taking Vision's body, but still. Anyway, so we know that Hayward took Vision's body with the intention to reanimate him, and then Wanda kind of busts in and is like, takes him for herself, but then she reanimates him, which is directly against Vision's living will. So it kind of doesn't put Wanda in the best light. It's not the best thing to do. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of Wanda, Homegirl is nuts. Like, what? She was acting so strange in this episode. It was just very confusing, very off-putting. But I think one of the most important things she says is that she acknowledges that this whole thing has been fake. And to me, it's like, well, does she just know that now, or has she always known that? There have always been some hints in previous episodes where she tells Vision, this is our home now, or other strange things like that. But it seemed like she was actively convinced and confused, whereas now she seems to understand that all of this is fake and that she is doing it for the most part. But then she also admits that she doesn't know how she's doing it or why she can't fix it. So to me, that speaks of another entity in control, manipulating things. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, it's crazy to me that Wanda is not hiding her powers anymore. She's just out with it, man. She like busts open the door to let Agatha in. She like yokes up Monica in the middle of the town so everyone can see. Like, she's not hiding anything anymore. And I wonder what the the onus is on that. We know her grip on reality is slipping. But it's just very interesting. There are a lot of theories going on online that, there's a good Wanda and a bad Wanda. And the good Wanda is the one we see at the beginning, who's kind of sweet and kind of confused about all of these things. And then there is the bad Wanda, who is kind of, busting through S.H.I.E.L.D. and, having all of these people aim their guns at Hayward and whatnot. Kind of like a Bruce Banner Hulk situation where like bad Wanda busts out when Wanda's reality is threatened or in trouble. Very strange. And I do wonder, I don't know, I think that Wanda knows what's going on and is just struggling mentally with how it's happening. Another uber important, and I would argue probably one of the most important things she says in this episode to Billy and Tommy is that Pietro is not your uncle. That man that you see is not your uncle. I mean, what do we do with that? What? I mean, yes, we know that, the audience, and she suspected it. It's just crazy to me that she has this definitive knowledge that that is not your uncle, and she's not controlling him, but she's not freaking out that someone is in the hex that she can't control and does not know who they are. To me, that's like blah. But anyway, so there's that. Also, where is Uncle P? What the heck happened? Because I mean, she busted him up into those fake gravestones last week, but he didn't die or anything. So where is he? Is he mayhaps in his true form underneath Agatha's house? We'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, so yeah, don't know where Pietro is. Very strange. And my question is, well, we'll get into that in a second. Moving right along to Agatha. I freaking love the song. It's been Agatha all along. So catchy. It'll probably be stuck in my head for the rest of the week. But anyway, some big reveals about Agatha. First off, what has been tripping me up about Agatha in the last couple of weeks is the pin on her neck. Now, we know that pin is pretty iconic for the comic book character Agatha Harkness, right? And in the second episode of WandaVision, we see she has it on. And then in other episodes, she doesn't have it on, like in the 80s episode. And it comes on, it comes off, it comes on, it comes off. Now, at the end of this episode, when she has her big reveal, it's on again. And Marvel is not stupid. They don't play with iconic things like a brooch for a character. So I'm like, what is the significance of it being on, it being off? Like, is Marvel trying to tell us that maybe someone is being hidden inside there? Is Mephisto in her brooch? I don't know. But that's just really, really interesting and has been tripping me up lately. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. Also, I still really, really do believe that Agatha is a pawn of someone, and I'll get into that a little bit later on why. But I mean, who are we thinking? Because, Wanda goes into the basement. It's super creepy. There's a big tarp with cardboard boxes, and it looks like the tarp has blood on it. Super sketchy. But then she goes into this kind of creepy dungeon thing. All of a sudden, the Modern Family episode, and also I think some of The Office as well, turns into an M. Night Shyamalan movie where there's underground stuff and roots, and there's a whole lot of symbolism going on in that basement. And to me, now I'm sure when I rewatch the episode, I'll know what it all is. But to me, right off the bat, I got Grim Reaper vibes, but I know that there's a lot going on with Mephisto. It's is it Mephisto? Is it Grim Reaper? Is it Nightmare? I don't know, but I strongly do believe that Agatha is still a pawn of some bigger bad that we have yet to see. We've gotten so many devil hints in the show. I think it could be Mephisto. There are lots of skulls going on in the basement, but I don't know. Next, obviously, in the big song, the big reveal, which I love, we notice that all of the things that Agatha has been doing, the manipulation and whatnot, it pretty much sums up as she has been making Vision question his reality and kind of encouraging Wanda to believe hers, which is very strange. It's why would she convince Vision that everything that's happening to him isn't real? We see in the scene with the car, she manipulates that whole thing. So whatever I said last week about her being taken from another world, complete malarkey. She's not. She knows what's happening. She's manipulating Vision. Then once again with Herb, she taps Herb on the shoulder, and Herb is like, oh, she's doing this because we're all in. We know it's all an act now. So why is she making Vision question his reality? Because those questions eventually lead him to push outside of Westview and die. Does Agatha want Vision dead and Wanda fully believing her reality? Because if you think about it, Vision's questions are the only thing that's kind of posing a threat to Wanda completely engulfing herself in Westview. So that's an interesting theory. What do you guys think about that? I think that could be a good point. Why is Agatha trying to get rid of Vision? Why does she need Wanda to be all up in Westview so much? Let's see. Yes, yeah. It was a really interesting episode. Sorry, this is my first live, so I'm like looking at the comments and talking. So great to have you all here. Anyway, and you have to make the note about Tommy picking up on the fact that Agatha's brain is silent, and also picking up on the fact that Wanda is like gone berserk, which, we kind of get in the episode, but it is interesting. I wonder if someone is shielding Agatha's mind, or is Agatha shielding herself? I don't know. I still think Agatha is a pawn, though. Now, getting into the teeny tiny little Easter eggs of the episode, I would say, the less noticeable ones. The biggest one, the scariest one to me, is that in the theme song, we have all these clips of Wanda, 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 Wanda. And then we have a clip for like a millisecond that says, I know what you're doing, Wanda. Who the hey is that? Who knows what Wanda's doing and can control the theme songs enough to say it directly to her? Sketchy. And then it's like, I don't know. To me, that's just really, really scary. And I think it could be Mephisto. I don't know. What do you guys think? Also, the mailman. Once again, the mailman shows up. He shows up in pretty much like every 2 or 3 episodes, completely irrelevant, and yet he ages, appropriately like everyone else in the town. Is he Jimmy Woo's missing person? Is he Ralph? Is he Mephisto? I don't know. The mailman is so strange, you guys. He's so strange that he has to be important. So keep an eye on him. I'm sure we're going to get the truth of who he is soon. He's also not on the wall with the rest of the townspeople. Also in the Agatha song, they say it's too late to fix anything. What does that mean? Does that mean the boys are gone, right? The boys are not in the basement, like Agatha said. And I wonder if that means that our big bad, or Agatha, got what she wanted out of the boys, because we know from season 2, it's all about the children. If she got what she wanted and Wanda is just now picking up on these things, and it's too late for any of that. I also wonder if the Agatha, song was broadcasted outside of Westview, because I feel like that would clue in the Sword agents. Also, we know that Sword is about to launch some transmitter or something to shut things down. I totally forgot to mention that. That's important, but obviously not as important as everything else that happened in this episode. So it's too late to fix anything. Poor why? I don't know. Next, there's a fly. Wanda notices this big fly / bee / cicada, I don't know, on the window in Agnes's house. The last time we saw insects like that was when the beekeeper crawled up out of the ground and you had all these bees, swarming around him. So what is the significance of that? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm just asking at this point. But I think it's something to note because she kind of pinpoints it, and that's what triggers her into thinking that something's weird. Now, we associate flies with the devil. So once again, Mephisto. Also, Agatha says she bit a kid. What? Maybe that has something to do with the comic books, and we just don't know. That's super strange to me. Also, there have been so many theories going on between last week and this week with Monica and this mysterious aerospace engineer mechanical person. And I mean, what a letdown. We find out that it is a military person named Goodner. She has some relation to Captain Marvel, and maybe she was in Captain Marvel and I just completely forgot about her. Either way, we thought thought she was Reed Richards. We thought she was Riri Williams. We thought she was Shuri. We thought we had so many ideas on who this person was, and for it to just be someone who's seemingly unimportant in the MCU, what an epic letdown. But touche, Marvel, you led us on a wild goose chase. Yeah, so kind of a letdown, but also like the people. Monica meets them outside of the Hex, right? And they're in military uniforms. Like they look like they're U.S. military guard people, right? But they're giving her a space rover. What the heck? That's off to me. And I was like, well, maybe they're Skrull. They could be, but the Skrull's been on Earth long enough at this point to know the difference between the military people and the space people. I don't know. Seems pretty odd. Last, but certainly not in the least, and definitely important, is the commercial. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, I was like, wow, does a commercial for mental health sum up the decade of the 2000, 2010? That's depressing. That's really sad. But I was like, wow, I totally know exactly. I thought it was a real commercial when it came on. Anyway, so the commercial is for a drug named Nexus. And I feel like there is a real drug named Nexus, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, the drug is to help you, solidify, be anchored into your reality. And, there's some deep points in there about Wanda needing to grow up, needing to deal with her grief, needing to realize that the world doesn't revolve around her. And even though she's in pain, people are in pain every day. Kind of like what Monica is saying, she was hurt. She had to get up and keep fighting. But the most important thing about that commercial is that it is called Nexus. Now, in the comic, in the Marvel Universe, a Nexus being is someone who can exist across the multiverse as the same person. So someone who's not a Nexus being would be someone like, I don't know, Spider-Man. There are different versions of Spider-Man across the multiverse, hopefully we'll see in Spider-Man 3. I don't know. But anyway. Wanda is not one of those people. She exists as the same person in every single universe. So if Tobey Maguire were to, say, run into someone named Wanda Maximoff, it would still be this Wanda Maximoff. So that is very important. It also notes that being a Nexus being is what anchors you to any reality. And the commercial says, anchor yourself to whatever reality you choose. And I wonder if someone outside of our reality, someone outside of our current universe is using Wanda as an anchor to come into the universe. Mephisto again? I don't know. Maybe the Grim Reaper. Who knows? But anyway, that's super important. And I think, too, it goes back to the Gogurt thing last week about using Wanda's magic to live. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Also, really important, they say the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it? We know that Wanda as a Nexus being, kind of reality revolves around her. Interesting. Anyway, you guys, that is all I have off the dome for Easter eggs for WandaVision episode 7. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything or what you thought about this episode. There was a lot going on. Also, don't forget to check out our sister channel, The Lotta Quante Ledger, where Jeremy will do a more in-depth breakdown as well as giving you the biggest 3 takeaways from this episode. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, and check out our Patreon, where you will get more exclusive SIBZ content. Okay, I survived my first YouTube live. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Peace.